The hegemony's mistake wasn't underestimating humanity. It was underestimating Lieutenant Colonel Rebecca Stone. When the ultimatum came, Earth's leaders gathered in emergency session. The message was simple: surrender in 72 hours or face extinction. The hegemony had obliterated 17 civilizations before Earth. Their fleet of 1,000 ships darkened the space between Earth and its moon. "We need our best military strategist," the Secretary General said. They sent Rebecca Stone. She arrived at the negotiation point, a neutral station at the edge of the solar system, in a single, unarmed shuttle. The hegemony delegates, massive crystalline beings who communicated through harmonic frequencies, literally laughed. The sound was like breaking glass. "This is Earth's champion?" Supermarch Kirax resonated. "A single human female? Not even augmented? You insult us." Rebecca adjusted her glasses and opened her laptop. "I'm here to discuss terms." "The terms are simple," Kirax chimed. "Surrender or die. You have 71 hours remaining." "I need to understand your capabilities first," Rebecca said, fingers flying across her keyboard. For the surrender documentation, the hegemony delegates exchanged harmonics of amusement. Pride was their weakness. They loved demonstrating superiority. For 6 hours, they boasted about their technology, their tactics, their previous conquests. Rebecca took notes, asked clarifying questions, and occasionally said things like, "Fascinating," and "Our fleet could never match that." "Your beam weapons," she said during hour 5. "They operate on a frequency modulation principle?" "Obviously," Kirax resonated. "Your primitive minds can barely comprehend. And your shield harmonics? They're synchronized across the entire fleet for maximum efficiency?" "Of course. It makes us invincible." Rebecca nodded, closing her laptop. "Thank you. That's all I needed." "Then you surrender?" "No." She stood up. "I'm going to destroy you now." The laughter that followed could have shattered mountains. "You? Alone? With what fleet?" "I don't need a fleet," Rebecca said. "I have a phone." She placed a call. "Colonel Stone. Authorization Trojan Sunrise. Execute." The hegemony delegates were still laughing when their fleet began to die. Earth hadn't spent the last 50 years building warships. They'd built the most powerful radio transmitter array in human history, disguised as a deep space communication project. Rebecca's 6 hours of questions had given her everything she needed: frequencies, modulations, harmonics. The transmitted signal was simple: a precisely calibrated electromagnetic pulse that matched the exact frequency of the hegemony's shield harmonics. Their own efficiency, synchronizing their entire fleet, became their doom. The pulse cascaded through their systems like a virus, turning their shields into resonance chambers. Ships began to vibrate. Hull plates shrieked. The crystalline beings themselves, intrinsically connected to their technology, began to crack. "Impossible!" Kirax's harmonics were discordant, panicked. "You're primitive. You don't have the power." Rebecca pulled up a display on her laptop, showing the transmission array. "We call it the Marconi Array. 6 fusion reactors powering a transmitter the size of Manhattan. We've been preparing for this moment since we detected your first conquest. But you couldn't have known our frequencies." "I didn't," Rebecca admitted, "until you told me." "Your pride was very helpful." The destruction of the hegemony fleet took 17 minutes. 1,000 ships, reduced to expanding clouds of crystal dust. The neutral station sensors recorded everything: how humanity's secret weapon turned the invaders' own technology against them. Kirax, his crystalline form fracturing, managed one last harmonic. You tricked us." "No," Rebecca corrected. "I did exactly what humans have done throughout history. I listened, I learned, and I adapted. You said I was outmatched. You were right. So I changed the game." The supermarch shattered. Rebecca returned to Earth as humanity's hero, but she deflected praise with characteristic humility. "Anyone could have done it," she insisted. "The engineers who built Marconi, the scientists who theorized the resonance vulnerability, the leaders who had the foresight to prepare. I just asked the questions. But the galaxy knew better. The story spread through quantum communications, carried by traders and refugees. How a single human woman had walked into a room with beings who could destroy worlds, and walked out leaving only dust. The recording of the negotiation became required viewing for every spacefaring species. They studied Rebecca's questions, her calm demeanor, the way she manipulated the hegemony's arrogance. Military academies across the galaxy added a new course, Human Tactical Deception. The hegemony's former subject races erected monuments to the woman who freed them. The inscriptions were simple: Lieutenant Colonel Rebecca Stone. She was outmatched. That's why they're extinct now. Earth received 17 applications for alliance treaties within a week. Nobody wanted to test whether humanity had other surprises waiting. Rebecca retired quietly, returning to her small farm in Vermont. When interviewed years later, she offered only one comment: they forgot the first rule of warfare: never tell your enemy everything, especially not when they're taking notes. The Marconi array still orbits Earth, silent but ready. A reminder that humanity's greatest weapon isn't their technology. It's their ability to listen,